Welcoming you to the Week 6 edition of Kirby's Kickoff. So glad you are with us. I'm your host, Josh Kirby. Thanks so much for finding us. Do us a favor, give us a like, follow us on all audio platforms, like, comment, share this video on YouTube, and subscribe as well. Another week of high school football. We are gearing up for tonight. In your matchups, we will get you your matchups. The James Wood Colonels traveling to Meridian. Clarke County traveling a long haul to face Central out of Lunenburg. The Skyline Hawks travel to face the Central Falcons out of Woodstock. And Liberty traveling to face the Warren County Wildcats, trying to get their first win of the season. Last but not least, the marquee matchup, the Sherando Warriors traveling to face the Millbrook Pioneers. In a matchup that is much anticipated, one headline just from the top, Coach Nick Manuel of the Millbrook Pioneers coaching against his former team. So it's going to be very interesting. Sherando coming off a win to Brentsville, and Millbrook with an upset victory. We get into that right now. Last week, the James Wood Colonels all over Warren County, 72-12. James Wood just explosive after last week falling to Sherando, getting back on the right track, and they did it offensively and defensively. Special teams as well. I believe Caden McCullough had a pretty long kickoff return. Sherando over Brentsville 28-7. The offense shined in that game, and Brentsville being held to 7 points with, again, another defensive performance from the Sherando Warriors. The Strasburg Rams all over Turner Ashby 49-14. The Skyline Hawks get their first win of the season over Manassas Park 64-0. In Millbrook, traveling to Kettle Run last year. Kettle Run was in the Class 3 state title game. They fell to Liberty Christian, but Kettle Run, a very tough opponent, and the Millbrook Pioneers holding them to 7 points. Kettle Run had numerous turnovers in this game that the Pioneers were able to take advantage of. Not always a scoring opportunity, but Millbrook relying on their defense to get the job done. Millbrook offensively, Keon Lewis as the quarterback. You have Riley Baker in the mix, Rome Johnson, Cam Clark. Some of those standouts were used in the game, but still a low-scoring game. But Millbrook with a heavy trust on their defense, holding Kettle Run to 7 points, coming out with an upset victory against a Kettle Run team who is known for a lot of success in this area when it comes to high school football. So, with that being said, we have a lot to get to on the Week 6 edition of Kirby's Kickoff. As always, we are powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation, fcprd.net. Give them a visit on their website. They have numerous activities, trips, adventures. You got to check out Frederick County Parks and Recreation. A lot coming up in a very busy season for them as well. We appreciate their support and the support of all of our sponsors of Kirby on Sports and Kirby's Kickoff. We'll take a quick break. When we return, you'll hear from Ryan Rutherford of the River 95.3 as they have the call of Sherando and Millbrook. And you'll hear from coaches across the area as we get you set for high school football week number 6 right here on Kirby's Kickoff.
Get ready for a brand new fall tradition. It's the first ever Bluegrass and Barbecue, presented by Blue Ridge Agents Insurance, happening Saturday, October 4th, from 12 to 5 p.m. at the amphitheater at Bowman Library. Picture this, toe tapping a bluegrass all afternoon with live performances from Murphy's Bluegrass Bandits and the Blue Spruce Bluegrass Band. Now add smoky, slow-cooked barbecue from Fizzle's Barbecue, creamy scoops from Uncle Beehive's Ice Cream, plus tasty drinks and snacks from Heavenly Sips and Snacks. And that's not all, local vendors will be set up with unique finds to explore while you eat, sip, and enjoy the music. Admission is completely free, you just pay for what you eat. So grab your family, bring your friends, and join us for the perfect blend of community, music, and fall fun. For more information, visit fcprd.net or check the link in the comments.
For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. This is Kirby's Kickoff. We're powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation. So glad you're with us. Week 6 of high school football right around the corner. I'm now joined by Ryan Rutherford of the River 95.3. He's on the call for matchup each and every week with his broadcast partner, Randy Woodward. In the game we're talking about a little bit closer, a pretty big crosstown rivalry between the Sherando Warriors as they travel to face Millbrook. The big storyline, former defensive coordinator Nick Manuel, the head coach at Millbrook High School, facing off against his former team where he was once the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, former James Wood athlete turned Sherando coach turned Millbrook coach. So he's gotten himself all around the Frederick County schools. But yeah, that's going to be a very fun storyline. Two teams that are going to kind of know a lot about each other already. I think Coach Rohrball is probably going to be digging through some of his old notes to maybe figure out some tips that Coach Manuel gave him in the past and vice versa. So yeah, it's always fun to see two coaches that know each other that well. It turns into more of like a chess match in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you look at it from the standpoint of you used to coach on a team, he might have some inside information. So you mentioned the chess match there. I think that's going to be key in this game, and that's why going into this game, it's so interesting to just imagine what could potentially happen.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, he clearly has Millbrook believing that they can win and compete with anybody, especially coming after the huge upset over Kettle Run last week. Kettle Run, a team that hadn't lost in the regular season since like 2023 or something like that. So he's gonna have his team believing, firing on all cylinders, and they're gonna have the home crowd behind him as well. Millbrook fans, especially when the team is looking good like this, they start to trickle into that stadium a little bit more and fill up that long, wide home sideline. So I think there'll be a lot of fans there. It'll be Hall of Fame night as well, so they'll have some of their legendary athletes back, and you always want to put on a good show against some of your legend or in front of some of your legends. So yeah, I think it's a very exciting one. Also, huge Apple Cup implications. Sherando already with a win over James Wood, and if they can get the win over Millbrook, would put them kind of in the driver's seat there with Handley waiting down the road. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
So to set the scene in this game, starting with the Millbrook Pioneers, coming off that huge win in upset fashion against Kettle Run 14-7, it must feel nice, Ryan, getting to go back home in front of your home crowd with a bunch of positive momentum behind you after a huge win.
Oh yeah, they're going to have a lot of momentum. It was a very hard fought win, and when you beat a team that good, it's going to make you feel good about yourself. But I'm sure Coach Manuel pointed this out in practice, and when they had film sessions earlier this week, there were a lot of opportunities for Millbrook to not win that game versus Kettle Run. There were some crucial turnovers that Kettle Run committed in the Pioneers red zone. I think they had a fumble inside like the 5-yard line at one point on a bad snap that just went over everybody's head. So there were some times where Kettle Run kind of beat themselves in a lot of ways. But Millbrook did a great job. They played great complementary football. When Keon Lewis had back-to-back turnover possessions, they were able to kind of limit the damage there. So really like what the Millbrook defense did. And I think that's going to be one of the keys is how Millbrook's defense can try to slow down Sharando's offense like they did to Kettle Run.
And Sherando, last time they had a crosstown rival traveling to James Wood, they handled James Wood, took care of business. They defeated Brentsville last week, only holding Brentsville to 7 points. So Sherando looks like some explosiveness on the offense and defensive side of the football, any way you look at it.
Yeah, and on the offensive side, it's going to be a heavy running attack. I'm very curious to see if we'll see Jalen Tasco Murray this week. He had a lot of conflicting reports as to why he was out last week, as he was on the sideline in uniform but did not play. So intrigued to see if we see him. If not, Mason McKee clearly stepped up, was ready for that role, had a decent amount of carries last year. So I think Strand will be pretty comfortable with whoever gets the ball. Jacob Henry has been a very decisive runner as well. So yeah, when Trino's on offense, it's going to come down to the running game, but they do get a lot of explosive plays out of that rushing attack.
It's October, the first broadcast in October, Ryan. That's when the weather really starts to change. You don't get those hot atmospheres, those more cooler temperatures. It just seems like a prime night to cover a high school football game on the River 95.3.
Oh yeah, it definitely will be. And Millbrook has a great stadium. Jared Euler always a great host for us there too. So yeah, it'll be great to be there. And also, I've been like sweating in the press box the last few weeks because it has been a hot game. So I'm excited for this one to maybe put on a sweatshirt, maybe wear some jeans, and not just be sweating through my headset the whole broadcast.
It's Sherando traveling to Millbrook, Ryan Rutherford and Randy Woodward of the River 95.3 on the call tonight. You can hear all their coverage on 95.3 or the River 95.3 app or the river953.com. Ryan, certainly appreciate the time, my friend, and we will catch you next week.
Yes, sir.
This is Kirby's Kickoff, and we're back with so much more right after this. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports and Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
Kirby's Kickoff. We're powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation. Week 6 of high school football. We catch the Clarke County Eagles out of a bye week. They travel to Central out of Lunenburg, an unfamiliar opponent, and prior to the bye week falling to East Rockingham 49-7. Always a pleasure to be joined by the head coach of the Eagles, Casey Childs. And I know, Coach, not what you wanted to see 2 Friday nights ago, but after the bye week and look at this game, what were some of your takeaways from this matchup?
I mean, obviously we didn't play very well. I thought we had some moments where some guys had stepped up. We made some changes, and I thought some of the changes that we made, we showed some good signs there. Mason Jarvis went to our version of the quarterback in the single wing, and he did some nice things in the run game. So we're going to look to expand that as well with his role in the offense. So obviously they were pretty athletic, they were pretty talented, and they just kind of got out in space on us a few times, and then we did not do a good enough job moving the football. Something that we've kind of tried to concentrate on all last week during the bye week. So we're making strides. We're just, like I said, when you have a team like ours that's so young and green, and each game is an adventure in itself. But I do like the fact that I thought we had a good week last week. We kind of got back to the basics of like early August, so the kids' vibe's still good, and that's what it's about. We're just trying to worry about ourselves moving forward, and literally try to get better each and every week to try to build for the future, because we are so young. I mean, we return pretty much everybody, next year. So.
Yeah, you mentioned Mason. You placed him sort of in your quarterback position. How do you think he did in that role when you placed him to do that?
Well, it was unfortunate it didn't go according to plan, because we had another guy kind of bung his shoulder up a little bit, which we were going to do alternating series at the quarterback and let him still play some wing, and due to an injury that we had early in that game, we really didn't get a chance to make that move into the second half until we were able to settle some stuff down at different positions, because we were really playing chess and moving pieces around once we had a couple of injuries happen early in that game. So but the plan was to play him some there as well, and then from this point on, he's going to continue to be our three back, which is our quarterback in the center lane.
So you mentioned sort of playing chess. Did you maybe expand on that in the bye week to see maybe how you can improve as a team offensively, defensively, to try to generate more of a spark to get some more stuff going, in a sense?
Well, we've got to do the small things. If you do the small things, you'll get better. Like, for example, offensively, we have to maintain blocks. We have to really limit our misassignments, and when you're struggling to move the football, you can't have misassignments, and so that's something we've been trying to concentrate on, and I thought the kids have done a good job with it. We also moved some guys around on the offensive line, just kind of not really making wholesale changes, but moving different positions to try to give our guys the best chance, and so far it's looked a lot better. So we're hoping that those things are better on offense. Then defensively, we have to tackle better. I mean, that's just the bottom line, and we did not. We haven't tackled well many times this year, and so we've gotten, like I said, really gotten kind of going back to the basics, and tons of drill work, a lot of reads, and so forth. And we're hoping that those things start to pay off here for the second half of the season, and we can start seeing some growth in the future.
And the bye week, traveling down to Central Lunenburg tonight, do you like where the bye week fell in terms of doing the little things and giving your team sort of a break before a long haul trip, and just in general the back half of the season, like you mentioned?
Yeah, we needed a bye week. There's no question about that. I mean, typically, I don't like bye weeks. I think when you get on a roll, it kind of can slow you down a little bit and get you off your kilter a little bit. But this is one of the ones that we desperately needed. We didn't play well on East Rockingham, and so yeah, it's a long trip tonight. I guess a good opponent. They've got some really good skilled kids as well. But it's a game that they were looking for a game. We were looking for a game, and it's been really hard for us to find games over the years because we've had so much success. So it's a thing where it's a long haul. It's 3.5 hours, and it's going to be a test for our kids to be able to get off the bus and be able to play. But as we've been stressing that, we had a long road trip 2 weeks ago to East Rock as well. So we have to add an additional hour and like 15 minutes to the ride that we already had. And we travel a lot anyway with some of our games. We don't have a whole lot of really, really close ones. Our districts spread out. And a lot of times some of our non-district stuff is spread out too. So what we're hoping to do is play just good football. And if we could play good football, tackle, block, take care of the football, create some turnovers, we'll give ourselves a chance. But those are the steps that we're trying to take to make sure that we can be able to compete for 4 quarters.
It's ironic you scheduled 2 Centrals back to back.
Yeah, and both of them are pretty good. So.
No, but just a tidbit I wanted to throw out. But Kirby's Kickoff the Clarke County Eagles traveling down to Central of Lunenburg. Always appreciate the time with head coach of the Clarke County Eagles, Casey Childs. Coach, certainly appreciate it again, my friend, and we will catch you next week.
All right. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
This is Kirby's Kickoff, and we're back with more right after this.
Located right here in Winchester, Virginia, Barrett Pest and Termite Services celebrates 25 years of service in 2022. And our veteran staff has over 100 years of combined experience preventing and remediating pest and termite infestations. From ants and termites on the ground to mosquitoes, yellow jackets, and hornets in the air, to one-time corrective services for rodents, to ongoing maintenance, Barrett does the job for residential and commercial customers. We also offer discounts for seniors, first responders, and military. What's bugging you? Let us know today, and we'll be out before you know it. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School. 540-869-6105. On the Road Driving School will get you on the road. This is Kirby's Kickoff, powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation. So glad you're with us. As always, Week 6 high school football right around the corner. Last week, James Wood with a huge win over Warren County, 72-12. Now joining me, the head coach of the James Wood Colonels, Todd Wilson. And Coach, it seemed like in all facets of the game, your team looked very well. What really stood out to you in this big win?
They came out with a sense of urgency. We just kind of came out and put things together much better than the week before. The kids were excited to play. It just showed we had a good week of preparation. It goes back to, the beginning. We send out the scouting report on Sundays. Guys need to, be in the scouting report by Sunday evening, learning it, studying it throughout the week, and then obviously practicing really well throughout the week. And we did that much better this past week than we had been. So that's definitely the step in the right direction.
Yeah, and defensively, too, it seemed like for most of the game, forcing pressure on Warren County. What did you see on the defensive side of the football that worked so well?
Lining up correctly plays a big part in that. When you line up correctly, you're in position to make plays. When you're not lined up correctly, at this level, offenses are too good. The teams we play are too good to miss a line. To give guys open gaps or having two guys in one gap and nobody in another gap. The backs we face, the offensive coordinators we face are going to see and pick those things apart. So that was step one, just lining up correctly. And then we did a lot better job of having multiple hats to the football. Their running back's really good. We kind of kept him in check for most of the night. So I thought that was really good. Number 3, the receiver, he's a heck of an athlete too. He beat us on a couple big plays, but overall the pass game, I thought we did okay there, but run game wise, we stepped up definitely.
So this Friday night tonight, traveling up to face Meridian. What can you tell us about Meridian and what they look like on the field?
Yeah, physical. They're a physical football team. They were a good football team last year. They're better this year. Last year, they primarily run the ball. They'll throw it occasionally. They're a much better passing team. For a wing T team, they don't do anything really, unusual or anything like that. They just line up and come after you. They want to run it up the middle, but they have some counter stuff, some crisscross stuff, some power action things that, we're definitely going to have to stop the run game. But again, if you force them into throwing situations, they have guys in the skill position. The quarterback's really, really mobile as well. For the most part, he's under center. He will be in the shotgun, occasionally, but he'll boot out. He'll get some depth where be probably difficult to get to him because he's rolling out. But they do a lot of things really well on the offensive side.
And just last week's big win against Warren County, how huge is the confidence with a big win like that in terms of preparing for Meridian on the road after a big win?
Yeah, I mean, it's much better coming off a win than it is a loss. The guys are, upbeat. We knew, I mean, we have shown flashes of it on offense and defense throughout the course of the year. We just hadn't, all been clicking. We scored on all three sides of the ball last week. We had a kickoff return. We had a pick six. And then obviously our offense scored as well. So, things were really clicking last week. But obviously there's things to fix. You go back and look at even some of our touchdown scoring drives. Receivers, the spacing wasn't the greatest. So, we're critiquing all those type of things, and the players are, listening to the coaching. So hopefully we can fix those things because, against really, really good teams, you have to be on your A game. So I mean, this week of preparation is going really well. So, just looking forward to, to getting back after it again against Meridian.
Week number 6, the James Wood Colonels travel up to Northern Virginia to face the Meridian Mustangs. Always a pleasure being joined by the head coach of the Colonels, Todd Wilson, right here on Kirby's Kickoff. Coach, as always, certainly appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Josh.
This is Kirby's Kickoff, and we're back with more right after this.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about...
Jay, what are you doing here?
Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
Fall is here, and New Look Landscaping has everything your home needs to look its best. Brighten your yard with colorful mums available now. And don't forget, New Look offers professional power washing to give your home a fresh, clean look. Call New Look Landscaping today at 540-327-1244 or email them 2025.nullook@gmail.com. This is Kirby's Kickoff, powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation. So glad that you're with us. Week 6 of high school football, the Skyline Hawks traveling down to Central this week. Last week, a 64-0 victory over Manassas Park. Now joining me, the head coach of the Hawks, Heath Gilbert. And Coach, after a big win like that, first win of the season, what really stood out to you about the performance of your team?
Just happy about the kids to get a victory. We executed pretty well. We stayed away from negative plays, and we're able to feel good about ourselves. But we're really excited about the challenge this week. We want to show that we can be competitive against a good team. Central's a good football team, and we want to go down there to their place and hopefully come back with a win.
So defensively holding Manassas Park no points, I would imagine that has to be a good feeling to see your defense step up and play so well. Can you talk to me about what you saw defensively that stood out to what your kids did?
Well, it's not really about I really don't want to get Manassas Park. It's just, they're building their program. What we're concerned about is, making sure we are all on the same page. Like, we've had some issues with we're in a man coverage and some kids think we're in zone. So we really wanted to be clean in all those areas on offense, defense, and special teams. And we did a pretty good job of that. We weren't perfect, but the closer we get to that level, the less mistakes we'll have in that capacity on Friday nights.
Absolutely. So just preparation for this week after a big win like that, I would imagine the spirits are high and getting back to work. How's the team feeling after a big win, though?
I think that's the biggest thing for us to feel good about our team and what we're doing. Because being 0-3, even though we knew we were going to be challenged in these first 3 games. We still wanted to perform better on the scoreboard, and we haven't. So to get that win at homecoming was important. But you're right. The kids have come ready to work. We talk about our process being attack the process, and what we do in practice, weight room, film study, scouting report, all that stuff. What is our mindset and how we're doing that is super important, and the guys have really done a great job with that.
Coach, I know this is our first year sort of speaking, having you on Kirby's Kickoff. I'm not for certain if Skyline's ever met with Central before. If not, what's just the game plan? What do you see out of Central and just out of a Class 2 school in Central?
Yeah, we have played Central in the past before. So we've had a couple years off with just with scheduling purposes, but that's been a good rivalry type game for us, and we're excited to see them again. It's a little different unit because Coach Yo is now down a little further south. So Coach Hoover is now the new guy, so he has a lot of the same principles about being tough, hard-nosed football, but he has his flavor to it.
Absolutely. And Central in the past, and I'm not really sure if to this day they still do it, but a lot of run first. So I'd imagine you're preaching trying to stop Central's run come Friday night. What else would you like to maybe stop?
Yeah, obviously, both teams, we both want to run a football. So the team that does that the best is going to be the most successful. Who can win the turnover battle? They do have a nice quarterback, big kid. He can throw the ball a long way. So we have more than just the run to worry about for sure.
Absolutely. Skyline Hawks, they travel down to Woodstock to face the Central Falcons. Always a pleasure, joined by the head coach of the Skyline Hawks, Heath Gilbert, right here on Kirby's Kickoff. Coach, certainly appreciate the time again, sir.
You're welcome.
This is Kirby's Kickoff, and we're back with more right after this.
Get ready for a brand new fall tradition. It's the first ever Bluegrass and Barbecue, presented by Blue Ridge Agents Insurance, happening Saturday, October 4th, from 12 to 5 p.m. at the amphitheater at Bowman Library. Picture this, toe tapping a bluegrass all afternoon with live performances from Murphy's Bluegrass Bandits and the Blue Spruce Bluegrass Band. Now add smoky, slow-cooked barbecue from Fizzle's Barbecue, creamy scoops from Uncle Beehive's Ice Cream, plus tasty drinks and snacks from Heavenly Sips and Snacks. And that's not all, local vendors will be set up with unique finds to explore while you eat, sip, and enjoy the music. Admission is completely free, you just pay for what you eat. So grab your family, bring your friends, and join us for the perfect blend of community, music, and fall fun. For more information, visit fcprd.net or check the link in the comments.
For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. This is Kirby's Kickoff, powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation. So glad that you're with us. Week 6 of high school football in Front Royal. The Warren County Wildcats host the Liberty Eagles. Last week, Warren County falling to James Wood, and now joined by the head coach of the Warren County Wildcats, Josh Breeden. Coach, as always, thank you for your time. I know last week, not really a way you and the team wanted to go out, but maybe some takeaways you could tell us from that matchup against James Wood that you're taking into this week to try to work on and improve on, in a sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, first and foremost, hats off to James Wood. They played a great game. Quarterback's legit. The receiver had 5 touchdowns on 5 catches, really did some damage against us. They had a good game plan. You know, they were ready to go. They were prepared and executed. So I want to give a lot of credit to them on a great game. For us, you know, it was taking a look at the film, seeing, you know, that we were misaligned a lot on defense, and they definitely caught on to that and hit us. Offensively, we couldn't develop any kind of run game. You know, we had to try to kind of live in the quick passing game. And, you know, when you're kind of, you know, limited and handcuffed on what you can do on offense, that makes it really tough to move the ball. So, you know, we got a touchdown, you know, in the first half early after giving up 15 points on offense. You know, we were down 15 really before our defense even stepped foot on the field. We threw a pick 6 and then an interception to give them the ball within the 10-yard line. So, you know, the guys fought hard the first half. Second half, the wheels kind of came off the wagon. So, you know, we've been preaching resiliency and fight all week long and cleaning some things up on defense.
You mentioned offensively not able to get a spark going, but with what you were able to generate, if not a lot, what were some of the positives offensively that stood out to you that you can sort of work to grow and expand on this week as well?
Well, it was good to see flashes of our guys winning some matchups, whether it be on the offensive line or receivers getting out of their breaks, open into some routes. I think our quarterback Bryce did a good job at some points in the game of getting the ball out on time, which is something we've been working on. You know, we just got to be better up front. You know, it starts up front. We need to be better about controlling the line of scrimmage and being able to get a push to get our run game going, and then our pass game will flourish once we can do that.
So we talked about the fight and the energy that your kids bring, and I would imagine a game like this really leaves a bad taste to want to make them work even harder and harder. Do you sense maybe more energy and practice leading up to the game?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good talk on Monday, you know, watching the film and our team meetings, you know, just talked about our investment in the offseason and, you know, how much we've put into, you know, going into this season, how much work we've put in and what our goals are and trying to stay rooted in things that we can control. You know, it's easy to look at a game like that and think that the world's falling apart, but there were still flashes of positive things in that game, and we really need to focus on those things and clean up what we did well, and just be able to execute better. But I think this has been a really good week of practice. We've cleaned a lot up on both sides of the ball. Special teams has a lot of different things we're trying to do there to try to definitely take advantage of that phase of the game. So, you know, I think the energy's still up. I think the kids are excited about a good opportunity against a good Liberty football team this week, and it's good to be back at home too.
What can you tell us about the Liberty Eagles?
They're a good football team, man. You know, I know they played some tough teams on their schedule. Quarterback is another good dual threat. He can run, he can throw. You know, they do a lot of stuff on offense, a lot of moving around, you know, similar to what we do, a lot of motions and, you know, a lot of pulling up front, pulling guard and tackle. You know, so, you know, definitely some keys there for us to read and play through. Defensively, they fly around, they bring a lot of pressure. I feel like that's kind of been the pattern with us is people want to bring pressure. So we've been really working on picking those things up and being able to protect the quarterback, get the ball out fast, and get it out on time.
There you have it, week 6, high school football. The Warren County Wildcats hosting the Liberty Eagles. As always, a pleasure talking football with the head coach of the Warren County Wildcats, Josh Breeden, right here on Kirby's Kickoff. Coach, certainly appreciate your time again, sir.
Always happy to be here, man. I appreciate you.
This is Kirby's Kickoff, and we're back with more right after this.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
Bed bugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bed bug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bed bugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about...
Jay, what are you doing here?
Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
This is Kirby's Kickoff. We're powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation. Another matchup to highlight week 6 of high school football. The Millbrook Pioneers hosting crosstown rival in the Sherando Warriors. Last week, an upset win over the Kettle Run Cougars 14-7. Now joining me, the head coach of the Millbrook Pioneers, Nick Manuel. And Coach, thanks for your time as always. I would imagine spirits are pretty high after an emotional victory on the road at Kettle Run.
Yeah, our kids are excited. Just as kind of that kind of testimony of the hard work paying off. It was one thing to get the kids to buy in, and they did. And there's a lot of belief of what we did and what we're doing is working. So we're just getting better every week.
Absolutely. Just diving into this game just a little bit more, how huge was it that your defense was able to capitalize on the mistakes that Kettle Run made in that game?
Well, it's huge anytime you're in any football game for your defense to be able to capitalize. We talk about making the most of our opportunities on both sides of the ball, and that's what we were able to do. But credit to our defensive coordinator, Eric Cusick, we really kind of understood what they wanted to do in the passing game, and we were where we were supposed to be. We had the right call, and we were able to kind of create some turnovers, confuse the quarterback, make them hesitate a little bit. Just well overall as a defense as a whole.
What stood out offensively in this game? Only 14 points getting the win, but from what I was hearing, there could have been opportunities that were maybe missed in a sense.
It's one of those things is we executed our game plan to go up 14-0. And then I think I kind of changed as an offensive coordinator, and I'm learning, each and every week. Went to a little bit of a safety mode kind of in the second half, just trusting our defense and trying to win field position. And I'm reflecting on that. That was the best approach, but it got us the win. So it worked. In the future, I'm thinking about what I would do different to kind of expand that lead. But we did what we did to win the game.
And back to defense, holding them to 7 points, doing what you usually tell us that you want to hold teams within 28 points. You must have felt great about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we know Kettle Run's a powerhouse, and like, you look at their regular season scores over the past couple years, not very often they're held to 7 points, regardless who's out there. And there was a lot of returning starters from the state championship team last year, so they had their weapons, they had their offensive line. I've kind of been going against these guys for a very, very, very long time, and I feel very comfortable with. I kind of have a feeling I know what they're going to do. And then we were able to put together the game plan to slow it down.
So with a win moving into week 6, a home game against the Sherando Warriors, and I got to ask your former school, you were the defensive coordinator for 5 years, Coach. What are your emotions like just preparing for a Sherando Warriors team that you're now coaching against this season?
Well, what I've tried to do is just treat it like any other game week. We want to go 1-0, just like they want to go 1-0. They're not looking ahead. We're not looking ahead. Throughout the week, I try to make it about us, just getting better, not worrying about what's on the other side of that. But I have so much respect for the coaches, a lot of the kids over there. I'm looking forward to shaking their hand before the game, after the game. I understand some of the kids will have a little bit of extra motivation this week, and they should. And that's that's what it is. There's no hard feelings from that. But I'm going to go out there and compare my team to the best of the ability, and try to execute our game plan the best we can.
You mentioned focusing on yourselves and not looking ahead, but in reviewing what Sherando has to offer, I know since your absence, maybe some changes, but do you have sort of an edge, do you think? Being with that program for so long, you might have an idea of what they might be doing that you could coach your kids up a little bit better in a sense?
I do understand a lot of their schemes, and I've looked at almost every film from this year, and they have some wrinkles. So they changed some things from since I was there. But I think kind of the beauty of what Sherando is doing right now is you can know what they're doing, and you still got to be able to stop it. And that's kind of their mindset right now, running the football. A lot of different backs involved, even the quarterbacks running really well. I think they're really just trying to trust that offensive line and let them pave the way.
So, Coach, in your mind, what are the keys to victory in order? What does your team need to do in order to get the victory tonight?
Well, just like every single week, we got to win the turnover battle. We got to take care of the football. Even if our drives don't result into a score, we like to be able to flip the field when we can. Because we know that they're going to try to put together long drives, running and wearing us out, and trying to catch us on discipline and hit us in the vertical passing game with their tight ends, their wings, and the screen game with their slot receivers, who are what's really good. And every now and then they take a shot vertical. But the key will be, can we slow down the ground game? And I think if we can do that defensively, we had a really good shot. I mean, offense, we know we just got to continue to be dynamic. Over the past couple of weeks, we were able to hit big plays, and I got to get us in the formations and to be able to do that. Kind of reflecting back to Kettle Run last week, we never really got to do that in the second half because of penalties, and we've been preaching and focusing on limiting those, because we always felt like we were a 1st and 15 or a 2nd and 15 because we shot ourselves in the foot. So if we can take those mental mistakes away, we got a chance to operate.
It's week 6. The Millbrook Pioneers hosting a crosstown rival in the Sherando Warriors. Always a pleasure to be joined by the head coach of the Millbrook Pioneers, Nick Manuel, right here on Kirby's Kickoff. Certainly appreciate the time, Coach, and we will catch you next week.
Yeah, Josh, thanks for covering our kids. I think it's going to be a really good football game, and we're glad you'll be there to be part of it.
This is Kirby's Kickoff, and we're back with more right after this. Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School. 540-869-6105. On the Road Driving School will get you on the road. Fall is here, and New Look Landscaping has everything your home needs to look its best. Brighten your yard with colorful mums available now. And don't forget, New Look offers professional power washing to give your home a fresh, clean look. Call New Look Landscaping today at 540-327-1244 or email them 2025.nullook@gmail.com.
Get ready for a brand new fall tradition. It's the first ever Bluegrass and Barbecue, presented by Blue Ridge Agents Insurance, happening Saturday, October 4th, from 12 to 5 p.m. at the Amphitheater at Bowman Library. Picture this, toe tapping a bluegrass all afternoon with live performances from Murphy's Bluegrass Bandits and the Blue Spruce Bluegrass Band. Now add smoky, slow-cooked barbecue from Fizzle's Barbecue, creamy scoops from Uncle Beehive's Ice Cream, plus tasty drinks and snacks from Heavenly Sips and Snacks. And that's not all, local vendors will be set up with unique finds to explore while you eat, sip, and enjoy the music. Admission is completely free, you just pay for what you eat. So grab your family, bring your friends, and join us for the perfect blend of community, music, and fall fun. For more information, visit fcprd.net or check the link in the comments.
That's going to do it for us. Week number 6 of Kirby's Kickoff. Appreciate Ryan Rutherford and all the local area coaches for their time on this edition of Kirby's Kickoff. I hope this brought you some knowledge that you can take into any game that you are going out and watching tonight, this Friday night. It's the first set of games in October. The weather's changing. Should be a great atmosphere for high school football, that is for sure. As always, we're powered by Frederick County Parks and Recreation, fcprd.net. Go check out their website for a list of all their events and activities coming up here in the near future. Thank you so much for spending some time with us right here on Kirby's Kickoff. Do us a favor, find us on all audio platforms, YouTube, like, comment, share, and subscribe as well. Give us a follow on all audio platforms as well. And you can check out the Kirby on Sports podcast, www.kirbyonsports.com. That does it for week number 6, and we will catch you next week for week 7 of Kirby's Kickoff. But until then, have a great rest of your weekend.